World News in 5.
Right now.
News and developments making headlines around the world in 5 minutes. World News in 5. Here on Radyo Pilipinas World Service.
Good day to all of our listeners here on Radyo Pilipinas World Service. This is World News in 5 and I am your host, Steph Vicente. The United Kingdom on Sunday has become the first group of 7 or G7 nation to officially recognize a Palestinian state. It is noted that the G7, made up of the world's 7 largest so-called advanced economies, dominate global trade and the international financial system. The BBC reported that France and Canada have also set out plans for Palestinian recognition but are expected to do so formally at the United Nations General Assembly or UNGA this week. Meanwhile, Canadian Prime Minister Mark Carney said last July that it had long been committed to a two-state solution as part of a negotiated peace process. But citing the expansion of Israeli settlements in the occupied West Bank and the worsening humanitarian situation in Gaza, he said this approach is no longer tenable. In other news overseas, the Indian government has said a new $100,000 fee for applicants seeking U.S. skilled worker visas will have humanitarian consequences. The BBC reported that United States President Donald Trump last Friday ordered the new fee for H-1B visa applications, which is more than 60 times the amount currently charged. It is noted that workers from India receive by far the most skilled visas in the program, at just more than 70% of those issued. Some U.S. tech companies reportedly advise employees with H-1B visas to stay in the U.S. or if they were out of the country to try to return immediately. Meanwhile, the White House on Saturday clarified the fee will not apply to current visas or renewal applications. And finally, Dutch police used tear gas and water cannon to disperse violent anti-immigration protesters in The Hague last weekend. According to a BBC report, 30 people were arrested and 2 officers injured as large groups of people clashed with police, with some throwing rocks and bottles. Meanwhile, the Netherlands news agency ANP reported that around 1,500 people blocked a highway crossing the city while a police car was set on fire. Dutch Prime Minister Dick Schoof condemned the shocking and bizarre images of shameless violence, saying it was completely unacceptable. Right-wing leader Geert Wilders, who won the previous election in the Netherlands and has retained his lead in opinion polls ahead of an October 29 election, was invited to speak at the demonstration but did not attend. Violence erupted when large groups of protesters, many waving Dutch flags and flags associated with far-right groups, confronted security forces. And that concludes today's edition of World News in 5. For Radyo Pilipinas World Service, this has been Steph Vicente. Good day and stay safe, everyone.
World News in 5.
Right now.
News and developments making headlines around the world in 5 minutes. World News in 5. Here on Radyo Pilipinas World Service.